common name to human being is ABC of life. Now, what is CPR or what is APC? When I say CPR or APC, I'm talking the same thing. Do you understand? The cardio there is talking about the heart. The pulmonary is talking about the lungs. How do you get the heart and the lungs back to life? You know that when somebody stops breathing, the heart will stop, the lung will also stop, isn't it? Because it's the heart that pumps blood to the lung that is working. So when the heart is not breathing, obviously the lungs will go down, will be quiet. And when the two are not there, the system is gone. Now, I said it's an emergency procedure that we use to resuscitate somebody that just suddenly passed out. We will say someone that had a cardiac arrest, that is the heart suddenly stop pumping blood and stop beating. It is a life-saving technique. It's a life-saving technique. Everybody should know it. Our children should know. You know, Alaza wanted to come. It's not for one thing that will not make her come, and I've told her, although she have done it a little for them, that so that I will still come and teach her again. She was really eager to come, say, "Mommy, let me see you do it again." I said, "No, don't worry. I will come back and teach you again in the house." So it's not something you play with. You can teach these small children. They will learn it, and they will save you. I know a 4-year-old child that saved his father. At least got the father to a nearest place with the driver before that man eventually passed on. But that boy, 4-year-old though, did gallantly because he saw something and he was trying to do what he saw. I didn't know how God worked with that thing to help the father to the nearest doctor's house, who eventually came to rescue. Eventually, they lost the man. So it's something you don't play with. Now, this CPR or APC of life should be done within 10 seconds. What did I say? You know how short 10 seconds is? That tells you how fast life can go. Within a space of 10 seconds, you must start it. You don't give the heart that chance to go too far before you start bringing it back. That's why everybody learns it. In America and UK, somebody can slump on the road. You see a passerby going to start doing that CPR there. You understand? You see somebody going to do it. I will show you one of the pictures there now. They go and do it. And while they are doing it, they are calling the ambulance. 911 is coming. Come and save that station. But somebody obviously would have rescued a soul there. So please don't take it for a small thing. Now, when you are doing CPR, there are 3 things you want to get done. When somebody stops breathing, the first thing you want to do is number 1, the letter A. You want to clear the airway. That is the passage from as you breathe in the oxygen from your nostrils. The way that air goes in, into your larynx to the lungs, to the bronchus. You want to clear that place. Make sure nothing is blocking that place. That's number 1. Then the B, what you want to do with that, you want to establish breathing. This person is not breathing again. You want this person to start breathing. You want the lungs to start moving again and making the person to be breathing. And the C stands for circulation. You also want to make sure that blood begins to flow to the body, especially the vital organs of the body, the heart, the lungs, and the brain. Is that okay? Now, why do we need to learn this thing? Who are the people that need this thing? Me and you as I seated there now, we don't need it. Because you are breathing, isn't it? Your lung is breathing, isn't it? Your blood is pumping, that's why we are moving. Blood is not pumping, you won't move, it is still though. There is no blood, you can't move. The blood is pumping, the brain is alert. So we don't need it. Now, who are the people that need it? That is the indication now. Somebody who suddenly stopped breathing needs it. You don't have to really know the reason why that person stopped breathing. But that's where some of us used to miss it. Then just walking out and stop down. So what is causing the breathing? The most important thing that, this person has stopped breathing. You check, this person is not breathing. You have to start doing something to make sure that person breathes. So when somebody stops breathing, then 2, when there is no pulse, that one you cannot do that. That one is for medical people. If somebody collapses, we are there. Apart from checking the chest, this chest is not rising and falling, this person is not breathing. We look for the pulse. There are different places in the body where we can get it. But when somebody is passing on, the last one that will stop is the carotid pulse here. So if you feel for the radial, we check for the brake and no way, we go to the carotid. Once we cannot feel that thing, we know that person is going or is gone. We quickly start doing something. Now, somebody who is about to stop breathing or die that has not completely, we now say somebody that is gasping. When somebody is gasping, person like this. You understand? That's the person is breathing. And may even be longer than the way the inside breath may take time. Person like this. When we begin to observe that, we know that life is going. CPR has to start. You must start your ABC. If not, something just is back and the person stops. In case of drowning, someone that got drowned in the water. Now we normally tell people to take caution when it comes to drowning. If you don't know how to swim, you don't have that confidence in yourself that you can swim, please don't make attempt to rescue somebody drown. If not, you drown. You will drown. Don't try it. Instead, call people, maybe people that have canoe boat. Somebody just drown inside this water now, they know how to swim down and bring the person out. If you don't know, out of sympathy or passion, you want to rush in, you will go with the person. Or the person is struggling not to go down. You see some of them do like this in the water. They can't swim, but they are trying to jump. Let people see before they go down. Don't go there if you don't know how to do it. Because the moment you grab the person, the two of you sink immediately. That is it. So don't go near it. But if you are the one that is involved in a canoe, you're in a boat, or that is plane crash and still landed you inside water, you don't know how to swim. What you do to help yourself is that what you do is this is what I'm going to do now. Wherever you are, do like this. Use your hand to hold the water. Try to be twisting your body small. Don't struggle though, just do it small. On that where you are, small. Don't try to move. Just stay where you are, be doing it small like that. Then people can see you and help you. The moment you start to struggle with the water to move, you drown. So that's a caution. You want to save somebody drowning, make sure you can swim. If you cannot, don't try it. If not, two of you will sink. If that person is not going, that the moment you go and help that person, that weight, bam, all of you will go down. Another reason for it is electrocution or electric shock. If somebody gets electrocuted or gets electric shock, and that's how we have to warn our children. See my small girl there now, rubbing her hand all over that wire. You never can tell where that black rubber can break. That thing can break, isn't it? And this little, that silver like golden like wire that used to run inside it can be there. So she touches it will shock. When we came to Cardiopulmonary, the first house we lived at Chumuda, the very night we passed there, as I entered the kitchen to do something, she seemed shocked. But I was on sleep. I moved back. I come out and said, this thing is shocking. So we called the electrician down and we realized that the socket beside the wall to the zinc is not connected to the heart, which that guy had to do that very night. So we should be very conscious of anything electrical around us and warn our children. We should really pay serious attention to that. In the case of electrocution, it is needed. And it has to be done when you are safe. Once somebody is still attached to the electrical appliance, don't go near that person. Because we human beings, we are electrically charged. All of us have electricity in us. We are electrically charged. We have the ions, both positive and negative ones in us. That's why you can talk of want to do EEG, electrical conductivity of the brain, ECG, electrical conductivity of the heart, because we are electrically charged. And if you are watching the beats, the electricity they also pass into your body to check how those things are working. So the moment somebody is attached to an electrical appliances and is under shock, don't touch that person. The moment you touch, you get attached to just. If I've had somebody narrating it, I think one of our studies, about 3 or 4 of them in the village or somewhere that were not knowledgeable. They said, what happened? This one joined. And let's just 4 of them just held together like that. But that current will keep passing to anything that can conduct it. Understand? So what we first do is to look for a dry object that cannot conduct electricity. If you are coming, you are not on slippers, first get a slippers. Make sure there is a footwear. Get a slippers. Once you put on your footwear there, look for a dry stick. Don't use a wet stick. If the stick is wet, water is electrically charged. Once water touches you, add something with water, you are going to be shocked. Look for a dry object, a dry wood, a dry stick. If you try a little, you cannot really get the person out of it. You can apply a little force. If you succeeded in damaging or wounding the hand, it's better than losing that life. Because you may be able to treat the hand later, but when life is gone, you know what it means. That is electrical issues. And anything that can conduct electricity must not be on you yourself. Talk of the person you want to rescue. One other caution we should take is that before you do this thing, let's make sure you are safe. If you are not safe, you can't rescue anybody. If not, you can either add more to the problem on that person or both of you become casualties. So it's something that has to be done with serious caution. When you are doing the practical, I will explain how it is done. So then you can also use broom, bunch of broom, the full bunch of broom can also be used. The bomb of you can use to push the person away from the electrical source. You understand? If you can't get a strong wood or stick on time to save time, if you see broom, you can take two broom, hold it together or tie it with something, use strong force and push the person away from the source of electricity. And immediately you push the person away, the person is now free from electricity. Don't go quickly, because the body will still be charged for some time before that current will pass on. Yes, if you go at that point, depending on the rate of current in the person, the rate of which may not hold you down, but you will feel that something shock you, move backwards. You understand? So that allow a little while before you now commence your resuscitation on that person. Another indication for it is when there is a foreign body, there is obstruction. These are small children, you know they can be funny. I remember my sister those days when she went and blocked her hair with corn and beans. That's why I told her to go and remove that thing. Then there was a day they rushed a child to my house so that put something on the throat. The child couldn't breathe. The child was just trying to choke up, couldn't breathe. God help us that they were able to do that thing, and that thing, child vomited it out. And so there are times that some things can block the airway, the throat. You can do the CPR, it will come out and the person will be able to breathe. Then there are some accidents that can also happen. Accidents that can lead to shock. A very fatal accident where somebody is bleeding profusely. You know, when you lose blood, life is going. Because oxygen that we sustain is also in the blood that is going. So once the oxygen level reduces to a level that it cannot pick your heart again, pick your lung, the person just fainted and go into shock. Once somebody is in shock like that, as a result of bleeding, the person also needs CPR. You can do the ABC for the person to come back. Then in cases of heart attack, cardiac arrest, stroke, and all those things. But the moment no breathing, no movement, ABC of life is needed, or what we call CPR is needed. And what happens at that point is that the heart has been what? Arrested. We call it cardiac arrest. That heart ceased to pump blood and oxygen to the system. Now, what is the reason why you must do this ABC or the CPR? Number one, you want to prevent damage to the brain. We midwives, when we deliver a newborn baby, the timing of the crying of that baby is very important to us. In fact, as you see me standing here, I have used my mouth to put air to do the CPR for a lot of newborn babies, just to make, even with the blood on them, as I bring them out like this, we are trying to, they don't want, I will just use God, cover their mouth, blow it. Because the volume that comes, if you know how to do that thing very well, from your mouth, the volume of air that comes at that one push is stronger and bigger in quantity than what comes from your oxygen cylinder, especially to newborn babies. At times I may not be the one to take the delivery. They would have put that child on oxygen. The child came and says he's not crying. So after some time they go and call me, I will get there. I say you people are wasting time with oxygen. When this brain is dying, I will just go disconnect the oxygen. By the time I give to you, see the child will pick up. You cannot use oxygen and maintain. But the volume I will give, you can't release this from the oxygen. If you do it, the first thing that will happen is blindness. Yes, when it will go to that child, bam, the eyes will first go. So there is the level you give them. Don't give more than 1.5 to 2 liters at a push. So you can't achieve that with the cylinder. So it's from the mouth you can, but as well, and just the lung just blew and the child will pick up. That is the way it goes. So number one, you want to prevent brain damage. If you are not fast about it, even if the person will not eventually die, if the brain is damaged, you know what is, you can't reverse a damaged brain easily. That's what happens when you see our bigger, older people with stroke. What damages their brain? The leg can't work again, the hand, they can't return back to normal. Not exactly. Except that brain is not once that brain is tampered, any part of the brain tampered with is gone. You can only manage it to some little extent, you can never reverse it back. And in newborn babies it's worse. You see some babies that from the time they born them till the day the world they take them, this is the way they have. Their neck will just falling down. They be dripping saliva from the mouth. Those are babies that suffer from neurological deficit at birth, that the midwife probably doesn't know what to do, or is this traditional birth attendants that deliver them. Before their head came down, they struggle and struggle and struggle. By the time the head comes down, the next 30 minutes that child is not crying, the next 1 hour that child is not crying, that brain is gone. By the time they will even do everything and achieve, maybe they now run to the nearest health center, they now use something and do everything, the baby comes out alive. That baby is gone. You just see other people doing developmental stalling and brain damage. You see it in things like that. So one of the reasons why you must be fast in doing it, especially in children, is because of brain damage. Number two, you want to bring back your breathing and blood circulation to the person. That's another key aid. Because once you are not breathing, blood will not circulate. One blood is not circulate, you cannot breathe. So all go together. Another thing is to prevent what we call clinical death. Clinical death is that you can't reverse it again. Clinically, the brain is gone, the heart is gone, the lungs is gone, the liver, the kidneys. Once all those 5 organs are gone, you can't reverse that system again. So we want to prevent what we call clinical death. So those are the reasons why we do this CPR or ABC of life, and we have to be fast. I told you 10 seconds, it has to be done. Now, something has happened. We want to rescue the person. I will first say before we do the practical, how do you now rescue this person? You are on the road, waiting for transport, somebody just slumps suddenly beside you. What do? The first thing you want to do is you want to look back. What happened to this person? As you look back to the person, the first caution is who? Yourself. The first caution is who? Yourself. Oh, somebody has slumped. Look around you. Is it a water environment? Maybe around people that go for picnics, around what do you call those things, beaches. You just want to make sure that there is no big body of water around you. Is there any exposed electrical appliance? It's not there. Are there broken things like broken bottles, nails? You check first. This thing I'm talking, don't do it the way I'm doing it here. Very sharp. Maybe you have not seen people doing emergency in the hospital. You see how they do it sharp, and they are pressing button for them. Because time counts for us, so time counts. This out of the 10 seconds you have only 1 second or less than to quickly search and make sure your environment is safe. You understand? Just have to be very snappy and intelligent about it. Quickly check. And look at yourself too. Is there any dangerous thing? Because if you have anything that can conduct electricity in you, and you go near somebody with anything, you are gone. It will just throw you. So you quickly, as you check your environment, you check yourself. Is it by the roadside? Watch out for the way the vehicles are moving, because if you are careless, a vehicle coming may not know you are there. We lost a relation years back, one of my husband's senior sister's daughter. She was a member of MFM. She just entered University of Technology Akure. She was going to church that morning, and the church is across the campus. She wanted to cross, a vehicle hit her down. So the people that hit her, the way they hit and move, that was like, let me go and park and come and see. A vehicle that was speeding from the other direction didn't know somebody was on the ground. So before the girl would pick herself, but that one just ran over her. Yes, and that was how that one finished the war. Very bad one. So what I'm saying is that if it is happening by the roadside, you quickly check the environment too. Which direction is the vehicle coming from? So that as you are turning your back, you want to help somebody, the vehicle will not come and meet you there. It has happened though, in the course of emergency, so that people, some nurses, doctors have been careless about it. So those are the things you quickly check off around you. Ensure your own safety first. Now that you are safe, the second thing is that thank God for GSM. If you have a phone, quickly call your 911 or any emergency number of any ambulance that you know. Call them. If you don't have a phone or you don't have it, by the time you are stopping, 1 or 2 persons may stop with you. Please call the ambulance. Or if there is any nearest hospital, medical something around you, please enter the hospital. Tell them somebody just collapsed now. We need somebody to assist us to resuscitate. Send a signal. That's the next step, is to send a signal for help. Especially if you are not a medical person, one. Even if you are a medical person, it is still the second stage, because by the time you are trying to resuscitate some of them, by the time you do this procedure for 2 minutes, they say you do it for 2 full minutes. If within a space of 2 minutes that person is not responding, then you need a machine that we call AED, automated external defibrillator. They will have to bring that machine from the hospital. Most ambulances have it. It's a life-saving machine. You need it. Everybody needs it. So that is it. That's the second step, is call for help. Whether you're a medical person or you are not a non, the second assignment is call for help before you now face your victim. Now, the first thing you do as you go near that person is watch. If the person is tightly clothed, men, release the belt. Just release the belt, open the button. You understand? So that this place will have some space be free. One, if it's a woman too, open the belt or whatever is there, or zip of the skirt, whatever, but make sure that the person is not tight. Then open up the chest. If it's a man, open up the button. If it's a woman, it all depends on how you now want to assess it and your environment. But it is believed that if you need to open up that woman, don't mind the exposure of the breast, open her up. But if you think the clothing is free enough on her, you can still work on her with the clothing, may not necessarily remove the clothing. But if you think that clothes she's wearing is tight, remove it for life-saving purpose, remove it. Just open it up in the front and do whatever you want to do. So when you now open the person, you check on the chest, that chest is not rising. I will not teach us as a medical person because you will not understand that. I will teach us as an ordinary person so that you can know what to do if it is you that have to help the person. So once you open the person, the chest, you check, that chest is not rising and falling. Look at the eyes. The eyes are not, some of them when they are this thing may be blinking small, or there may not be any blink. Person just still. The next thing is that you tap on the shoulder. If it's somebody you know the name, call the name. Put your mouth near the ear. Teju, are you okay? Are you okay? If the person is still not far or not deeply unconscious, the person will go, you know the person has not gone too far like that, okay? But if you do that, the person no single response at all, CPR have to start immediately. So once you check that nothing is happening, there is a way you will now position the head. You turn the head backward like this. Then you make sure that the chin, this place, raises upward. Then you start your compressions. If you are the only person there, concentrate on the compression. Ideally, it's supposed to be 2 people to carry out this procedure. But most times, you may be the only person. And you know, our people will be afraid and scared. One of my friends or relation one time traveled. They met road traffic accident. Somebody's big toe was caught in a vehicle that was about to catch fire. There was confusion. Should we cut off this leg and release this person, or what do we do? Just, if you cut now, the person feels sue us after saying we cut the leg, and this one saying if you say we don't use them for ritual, that's another environmental factor. While they were debating on what to do, that vehicle caught fire and everybody watched them and died, burnt in the vehicle. Yes, alive, burnt there with the vehicle. In fact, the day I heard that and said, anyway, I will not blame them because the person said can come and be the person that will sue you. Why did you cut my leg? Is that another way they could rescue me? Is that the people are funny? Don't you know? You will try times you think you are saving somebody and don't be. That's why times when emergencies are happening, people are finding it difficult to rescue because you don't know the one that you will do now that you buy job from it. So that is the way. So what you now go concentrate on now, you do 30 compressions. What did I say? 30. That will be 30. Very fast though. We do it here. 30 fast on. I'm very hard and strong. I will show you how you position the 30 hard and consistent compressions. By the time you will do the first 30 or going to do the second 30, that person should be awake. If it's not a too bad the case, the person should be awake. If you do the first 30, you cannot give 2 breaths. I'll show you how to do the breaths. We call it the kiss of life. We will do it. But some of us are afraid because of so many things that is endemic now. HIV, hepatitis B, what they call Ebola, and a lot of things, monkeypox and the rest of them. So if you don't want to do the breath, it is allowed. Then your 30 compressions must be done very fast and in a deep way. By the time you do the second round of the 30, that person is likely going to wake. But if by the time you are finishing the 30, the second round, you don't stop until you have completed 2 minutes. It is expected that between the time you start and before the end of 2 minutes, the person should be reversed. But if at the end of 2 minutes that person is not reversed, that person may need the automated external defibrillator, which a medical person will have to bring and come and apply. And most times when we apply it, some of them come back. What that one is going to do is that it's going to deliver some electricity to shock the heart to wake up. So to shock the heart will wake. And once the heart wakes and starts pumping blood, the person will start breathing, respiration will come back. Is that okay? So that is just the summary of everything about this ABC or cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So as soon as the person comes around, you will see the person may try to be moving, some of them may try to struggle, some of them may even want to talk. you want to call somebody's name, a relation name, something like that. So just calm the person and say, like Bajabet, like I admitted or omitted something. If it's a stranger, you don't know the person's name. If it's a man, Oga, that's the way you approach a woman. Madam, auntie, sister, just say something to arouse the entry of that person. So if after all said and done, the person comes around, there is a position we call recovery position. I will show you. That is the way you put the person. Some of them may think they are strong enough, they want to get up. Don't allow it. Because number one, if it's a case of bleeding, when that person stands, the person will go back. Will slump again, go to another shock. But there is not enough blood in circulation to hold that person. So any emergency situation, the person should not stand immediately. We used to make that mistake a lot. Like maybe you are in a vehicle now, you enter a vehicle, somebody that's epileptic, person going to, those are people that also fall into this category, epileptic people. The person may start having epileptic crisis. Immediately after the crisis, person goes off. By the time the person wakes, the person wants to get off, get up. Allow them. Let the system actually balance. So you don't bring them to stand. There is a position you put them until the ambulance comes around to pick them, or until there is a vehicle that's ready to convey that person to the hospital. It's just unfortunate that in this part of the country, we don't have very active ambulances like that you can call and they will respond. We don't have. It's very painful. It's very, very painful. But if there are people that have vehicle around that can move, they can quickly move the person to the nearest health center. And what we normally advise on this note is that please don't think of your personal hospital at this point. Because especially if it's far, don't. Emergency situation requires an emergency hospital. I mean the nearest, as you put your leg like this, as you move the car like this, which hospital is here? If you need to borrow money for them to attend to the person, because I used to tell people that it's not like emergency. Is that like emergency? No, let's be practical. I say it a lot. Even when they come to me, I mean, it's not that it's nothing like emergency. So men are not deceiving ourselves. No money, no treatment. Isn't it? It's true. Now I'm not saying something. It's true. That's not like emergency. In abroad, emergency is emergency. When they bring somebody to the hospital, that nobody asks for money. They just start treating, doing everything, make sure that person recovers. In Nigeria, is that this like emergency? I lie. You come in there, they even see that it's a small child before they even say job promising. It's money. Let's do the practical now. Then we can now give room for questions. There is a difference between the way you do decompression in adults and in children. In babies, what we do is digital compression. We use two fingers like this because they are very fragile. Their bones are fine. You can kiss and umbrella, break their bones. Yes. Just do a digital compression for babies. That's number one. For this age to like 8 years, you will still do it like adulthood, but with a caution. The deepness should not be too much. You look at the size of the child and your own size. Like this one Mina is very big. If she has to do it for a child of this stature, you cannot use your two hands. You use only one hand. The heel of one hand. That's the heel of. You use only the heel of. You can't use to fracture a bone. Because this chest bone here is a very fragile bone. It's a very fragile bone. And it is this bone here we call the sternum. That's the bone that separates the two portions of the heart, the left and the right. This is the bone that divides it. You understand? And the lower part of this bone is very tiny. It tapers down. If you have seen it in a diagram, it tapers a slight, something like a tip. That is why we call the tip of the sternum. This is where your compression will go. But if you cannot understand it that way, go to under the left breast of the individual involved, because the heart itself tapers towards the left side of the body. The apex of the heart is to the left side of the body. Is that okay? So, and the compression in children is also 30. It's also what? It's 30. If two of you are there, you can do 15. You do 15, the other person do the breath twice. But if there's only one person, then your compression completes is 30 compression. Okay, now just anyhow you are comfortable, just lie. Okay, we are passing now. I will say, this somebody on the ground. The first thing I will do now is this. If I think, maybe some of us that use gold a lot, better remove it, put it in your
handbag or something like that. Now, my environment is safe. I want to see the person now. Sister. Now, check that the heart is not moving. She's not responding. No matter the way in which she has fallen, arrange her. Let her displace the way she is. Let her hand give her side. Is that okay? The next thing I will now do, I can stoop across her depending on her size and my own and the space available. If it's not, I can come to the side like this. You understand? And the next thing to do now is that raise her head this way. When you are doing it this way, some you can open their mouth. You can't really see far like that, sha. But when you open the mouth, there is no object, it's not chewing gum that you can see, you can remove. But sweet is the mouth, you can remove. Toothpick is in the mouth, you can remove. There is nothing like that. Yeah, tilt the head. This way will make, this position will make the air passage here to be free. You understand? Of any congestion to be free. You do it like this. Then you see the chin now, this place is facing upward. If two of you are there, one person can help you and hold the patient like this. If there is nobody, if it's only you, just position the patient like this and come to your compression. Now this is the level of the CT stomach. But if I don't know where to really place my this thing, the whatever, these are left. Is it your left? Then I can come to the left. Oh, sorry, my God. Sorry. So you do it like this, the way you do it. Now what you need now is the heel. You understand? Is the heel. Now you compress this place. 30. You see, very fast like that. Ipa like that. Very fast. 30 good compressions with the heel. You understand? See what I'm doing now? But I don't want to do it too much. I don't play that. It has to be, use this place. It has to be with strength and deep. Back. Continue 30. Don't stop it. Back. By the time you give 15, most of them will wake up. Most of them wake up. Or by the time you complete first 30, patient is already responding. By the time you stop. How are you? Madam, are you okay? Are you awake? Hello? Madam? She will start responding. You understand? So once she starts responding like that, you know she's okay. Now, okay, she's awake now. The next thing to do one is if I catch you there. The next thing you will do, like you put her in a recovery position. Now that recovery position means that you turn her to her left hand side in this manner. You leave her like that until help comes to pick her up. And some of them, by the time they are fully conscious, you will see them, they want to get up on their own. So after some time, you can assist her to sit up. But that's sorry, what happened? So they will start telling you, I just feel this way, it's like this way. But don't talk too much there. The advice is that as soon as this person is recovering, quickly transfer to the nearest hospital. We'll do it again. Yeah, somebody will come and do it now. Oh yeah? Somebody come and do it. Somebody should come and do it for us. Yeah, somebody come and do it for us. Somebody would have laughed now. Yeah. Somebody come and do it for us. Oh yeah? Oh yeah, Deborah, let me lie that you come and do it. See, somebody don't want to go. That means you're not learning anything. You have to practicalize it now. Come. Quick.
Everybody free?
You're free. Come and do it.
So the reason why I do not is because you know that this thing is free now. So we need to cut some off. Understand? So that because now they are not.
Notice that when somebody is unconscious, don't give anything from the mouth. A lot of us are close people in the name of giving things in the mouth. Let me tell you what happens. When you eat food, from your esophagus as you swallow it, you have the larynx and the pharynx together. The pharynx is where the thing will go into your tummy. There is an opening between that pharynx that opens into your larynx, which is your voice box, which has to do with your respiratory system. That's why when you are eating, begin to observe, you have not observed it before. When you are eating, when you want to swallow, your breath stops. Don't breathe.
Observe it from today. When you want to eat, I'm eating now. Don't tell you. You will not breathe. It's natural, you won't. Because what will happen is that the breath will cease for that opening to the larynx to close, for the food to go to the pharynx. The moment you are talking and trying to grasp air at the same time, that's when you will choke and you say, pepper enter my head, enter my nose, enter my throat. Because the two openings are together, so this will escape into your respiratory system. And that is the danger. Once somebody is not conscious, not even a drop of water are going to use. People go and bring this one, buy this one, buy this one. I remember those days when you see children and neighborhoods that were having convulsion. They will pour milk and salt inside the house. What this will watch my child. Me, they were pouring milk like this, pouring salt at the same time inside the mouth. But that time I didn't know, just be watching that they are doing something. There's a lot of them who kill the children. Even they will choke it, they get choked. Somebody that is cannot move, that cannot respond, can the person swallow? Can't swallow now. You can't swallow. The ones already there, just go to the airway, and that is what will finish the work for you. There's no resuscitation again. To just get blocked. You just block the whole place. Another thing you should also notice that when you are doing the CPR, the patient can vomit. That's happened to me several times. You just vomit your body like that. It's not a big deal. Because especially that if it's not long, they eat. Can vomit. So please, when somebody is not fully conscious, can't respond to anything, nothing should enter that mouth. Nothing. Every treatment has to be in the hospital. When we get to the hospital, they send drip. They say that somebody, medical people are there, they can send the drip and start all these things before they transfer person to the ambulance or to the hospital. But like I said, please, the nearest hospital should save us. We lost a child when I was in location 1 and it pains me. I went to work that day. Unfortunately, they didn't call me. But I observed that child was pale. I was telling the mother that I didn't get this pill. I said she's on the anti-malaria. You know, I knew 2 times I talked about that in the church. And when the child comes to me, say, child needs this and just lie lip like that. See how girl.
The essence of this thing.
So I lied as I went to work that day. The girl just collapsed suddenly. So they rushed out to, instead of them to rush out to plenty of hospitals around us there. They will close to the mother's house. There's somebody in the hospital that they don't go to hospital. So Obi go to Choba. Obi go to Choba. Come and see the irony of it. I'm telling you, come on, the painful thing is that girl got to Choba. She got to teaching hospital. She got to the front of accident and emergency. Because now they have poured water, they have prayed, they have done a lot of things. So the girl was recovering. But it was not free because it has to do with blood. Once it has to do with blood, after some time, she will still go back into that shock. Because there is no blood still enough to sustain her. The girl got immediately they just remove her from the car of the sister in the church that drove them there. Put her on the stretcher, enter inside the ambulance, inside the emergency ward, the open place like this. The next man just said it that in this case now, I can't remember the girl's name, whether Faith or something. Ruth. Before you know what was happening, the mother was just saying, Ruth, the girl was going. The girl was going before they know that girl just left. Also, you know, didn't come, that girl didn't come back far there. When I came back in the evening and somebody alerted me, everybody is in Nagbaja's house to the shop. By the time they told me I was weak, I said, see how people decide. So just come and see hospital. I said, just only 1 pint of blood would have solved that problem. Oh, only 1 pint of blood would have solved that problem. I said, man, before you were coming, before you wasted down to wherever you wasted it to, you would have used that money to give them 1 blood here. So please, emergency is emergency. If you can gather money, even if you can't beg people, doctor, hold me down. In fact, don't go. I will stay. I never be sent to go and bring myself. I didn't pay. People should hold me. If you are really interested in helping that case, so, and you know that times when you want to help with money, you know that your money may not come back. Oh. No, I bear it in mind because I know I don't have the money to go with or to help. I stay clear, to be honest. It's better than start more money and complain on my head after. But the moment I know I'm ready to part away with that money, I'll stop my leg to eat it. So, sorry, I'd like to ask questions. Don't forget the question, write it. Oh yeah, let's use one charge now. Come. If I catch you there. Come, look like me. Get up, I'm waiting for you.
Paddle. Let's go.
So I try like Yoruba people would. Yeah, come on, lie down here. Lie down. No, don't face like that. The children own is very simple. It's just the same way we have demonstrated the adults own. They're just like I said, their own bone is very fragile. If it's a baby, like I'm going to do it for a baby now, I don't be doing two fingers like this. In a very gentle manner. But this free back and break with you like this, you break. Trying to make this. So, but for a young adult like this, a young girl like this, I won't use two hands. Because I'm waiting. I won't use two hands. So I'll just use the heel of one hand like this. Just back. 15. The other person, when I saw that 50 person gives breath. But the person is not, if you want to do it to 2, you can do it to 2. Me, at times I do it to 2. Do the 15 compressions, give 2 breath sounds. I know I didn't teach us how to give the breath sounds. See the way you will do that. When you have placed the person like this, you use the hand. Don't try those things like this. Open your mouth. Don't do that. It's your lips. You can't have it. Blow. Blow into. Serious one. Okay, let me do it. Not open your mouth. You see the chest rising? It will rise. You see it? It will rise. It will rise. So you do it 2. You won't remove your mouth, or you do it 2 immediately. You know how breathing yourself. Do the second one. Things are not going to be the same. And if you are afraid of HIV or infection, whatever, you need the mask. Then you start compressions and be very fast and like that. Just keep doing like that. 15. I mean 30. So that is that for children. So let's give them questions now. Questions, clarifications. Things I've had before that you are not sure of now, let's ask, please. I've told this message is a very important one, don't joke with it. Questions. Yes, Daddy. Mike, so that people can hear it.
My question is, what about all these asthmatic patients and without their inhaler? Can we apply that too?
If the inhaler is not available, you can do it. There are so many conditions. I don't want to be writing medical conditions, but that's why I put it under the person is not breathing, the person is not conscious, the person cannot move. There are so many things that can happen that can make somebody to stop breathing. Fracture. If accident happens, somebody break the spine, or any major big bone, and there is excessive bleeding, the person is going to shock. The person will not breathe. There will not be pulse. The person will not be able to move. You would have to do CPR.
Like you said if there's anything like that, you go to emergency hospital. There was a day this boy tear his head, so I rushed down to close the health center there. All of them, they were looking at me. They started referring me. Instead of that to do so, this one was like, I can't do it. This one was like, I can't do it. Okay, in that case, no.
I've experienced that a lot too. Now I'm a nurse and I live in the neighborhood. I experienced it a lot. And about emergencies, I had to reject too. You understand? Number one, those people will not attend to you if the doctor is not there. They won't. If you go to a hospital where the doctor is not there in the night, they will not attend to you.
It's not in night, it was last
Timothy, I don't know if you're around. One night we had a baby, we were carrying on over all people. We were not around. That's my patient's baby. Let me tell you this thing. That particular lady wedded in my hand. She has 3 children now, two girls and a boy. I delivered all the 3. When she had the first one, she showed me pepper that delivery. And I told her, said, you can't deliver by yourself again. Your next delivery go and go for CS. Some of them just like, I don't know, temptation, they just hang on my neck. Second one she came and I said, Agbaja, I won't tell this baby. You got to tell me. Before I know she fall in labor again. The same suffering. That she doesn't cooperate, that's what I mean. She cannot push. We will suffer. So when she was going to have the third one, I said, you see, I will disappoint you.
Even if you come and meet me, I will send you back. I've done it to people, I do it. I will send you back. Unfortunately, before I knew what was happening, my nurse has already admitted her. They're already managing her. It was in the night. They didn't call me. Labor was going on. This man reached the stage to push. It was then Ohana started. Nurse now remembered I was sleeping inside my flat. Now called me. I came out. Fully dilated. This girl started a drama. And I said, Cynthia, she have told you I won't handle you again. I said, when did she continue coming? I told you that let this girl go and do CS. Man, sir, I struggled with the whole of my, and that one was even a boy. You know, they've had 2 kids, first had 2 kids. The boy that they will cherish and they are waiting for. We struggled. What did you not do to give her that child that night? She will not be there. She won't do anything. She just be screaming and shouting and dancing there. At the end of the day, the way it was in the night, that was when there was no road that told people it was so bad. No road. I struggled. I delivered the baby. I have manual resuscitative oxygen therapy for babies in the house. That baby came out flat. When I say flat, no breathing, no life, nothing. I started using that thing to pump the child, started doing a lot of things. Eventually, that baby picked up, but the respiration was not stable. So I know that that baby can still go off. So immediately I was doing it. And after that, we need, at this point now, we need a continuous oxygen flow now to sustain this child. And we made a pediatrician to give some injections and things like that. That's how we entered camp from around 12 midnight. We were carried all of Toby Go till about 3 a.m. that morning, I'm telling you. I went to Salem Hospital, I went to Pilgrim, I went to Bethesda, I went to, there's one Alakwe, but Obigo Market. It's Alakwe Clinic Hospital by the road, Obigo Market was there. I went to hospitals that night. I went, no doctor on seat. And they told me that since there is no doctor on seat, they cannot receive the child. I said, if you have oxygen, I will pay. Just admit, give this baby oxygen. Call your doctor that this is what is happening here now. They couldn't. They couldn't. Number one, the risk of going to port was not my problem. I would drive and get to port. But the problem was the only road that can take us to port was into a chain. That time, Obigo was right off. You know, one time the road divided into 2. It was completely right off. The only road was either pass that place or if you're going to link Umusoya, come out from Eleme. How can I face that place around that time? In terms of all of us will die there. And I told the couple, I said, there is no way beyond this level. We only maintain this child on this till morning. So we went back to my place. Intermittently, I will be pumping. After snow time, the child will pick up, continue like that. It was about 5:30. Or 5:30. I had to call one of my sister's husbands to come help people. I was going out that day. Come help me drive them to port. So they carried the child to Sophia. I already written a referral letter, narrating what that happens at the pediatrician will know how to handle it. That's why they came to Sophia for further treatment. So when I came later that day to see them, the woman was over happy with me. He said, if not for the way I manage this case, this baby is a gone issue, which is true. Which is true. So that's why I said earlier that it's not like emergency as far as Nigeria is concerned. Nothing like emergency. Nothing. We should only pray that God should not give us a declaration of emergency. Nothing. There's nothing. So what we said is correct. So if at the end of the day, the people around you cannot, even one of our sister's husband that died one night, he has stroke. I don't know whether he died immediately or not, but by the time the sister called me around that 1 a.m. it happened, they have already entered one hospital very close to the house. All of them rejected. They said, doctor, not on ground. You know, most of these private hospital doctors don't stay there in the night. They go to the hospital to sleep. So what do you want the nurse to do? It will only take a nurse that is knowledgeable to say, okay, let me help you. But most of the nurses you see, most of the private hospitals as well are auxiliaries. They don't know anything. They can't handle emergency resuscitations. They only do, doctor give instruction, they do. People like us can use our initiative and say, let me do this one and we'll achieve something. But they can't think. It's where doctors say do, they do. Doctor say do, they do. Doctor knows but they don't know what to do. Maybe to just treat you to finish. At the end of the day, by the time they work out, I was mentioning 2 other 3 hospitals where I thought doctor would be there. That they should go there that night. At the end of the day, no, they didn't succeed. The attach eventually called when they went to a place where a doctor was. The man has died in the car. Rather 2:33 had to come and go and meet them. That hospital was not far from my side. doctor that time, God be God. So it's well, that's why emergency that for this country, God will have mercy on us. So I'm sorry about that too, but I know it happens. It happens. For me, there are cases that when I see that they are beyond me, I refer. There are cases I know that if they are not telling me the truth, I know. A pregnant woman came one of the nights, we have not called the doctor, bang on the gate. I said, brother, go and open. I said, a pregnant woman. I know when they knock. I said, a pregnant woman, go find out. By the time he came, it was a pregnant woman. It's one other lady, they came. I don't know the two of them. The one was saying she knows, mentioned somebody that delivered their child near her house. There's a person that told them to come. Where did you register 30 something weeks or 32 weeks? You have not registered anywhere. So what do you want me to do with you as an emergency patient? It's a risk on my side. Serious risk. She has not registered. After she now said that actually she's going to a place for children that I said, shut up your mouth. You have not registered, you have not registered. From late stories here. Okay, if you are registered, go to that place. You register the place, go there. You see mommy wants you to handle us. I said I know they handle you. Okay, if na drug, just try it. Maybe you take drug tomorrow morning. I go to I said, madam, if you know how you enter this compound, find your exit. I mean, I'm very sharp when it comes to doing nonsense. You can't see my high down. Oh. And thank God I'm blessed with a very strong voice. The way I go at you, you just know that you have to go. They left. Don't do anything for them. Everyone don't want to know what is going to happen. Send them away. But as for emergencies, you handle it with risk. There was one I was in Ekiti State. When this one was I went to visit, they were calling me at 12 midnight. When I went and light at my gate, that is there, it is here she will born. The nurse said, mommy, no day. You didn't register with us. We don't know you. If mommy did that, she can check and know whether she can handle it or not. Madam, find your level. She said, I lie. The moment she delivered to somebody of her friend, and here she go born. They call me and say, give the woman phone. I beg them. I know they are not lying. I'm not in the house. I'm in the Ekiti State. He said, I lie, mommy, and they wait to go born me. I said, you go born me. It was not. I had to call police that night. I'm not like police. I had to call police. I called Sister Regina and I said, sister, come and see what is that like. Go to my house. There's one woman that wants to commit suicide there. Say I was born at there in Ekiti State. Then when the woman still refused, saying, I mean, they sent you. Until when they call another police to come and handle the woman, she now called the husband. It was then they decided to go. So some of them are temptations. What are temptations?
Man, like that my boy now. The other day, that this thing you're doing here like this. The first nurse that was around us.
Did it?
Was doing it. That's like the one now rushed to at the time, so we should rush to the nearest hospital. We rushed to the nearest hospital, getting to the hospital. We were now shouting, doctor, nurses were there. Doctor, calm down. For doctor to calm down was not an issue. Before doctor finally came down, it was late. So doctor not came down, he said we should line him. Started checking, all these doctors now, before they now go like this.
But as at the time the doctor checked, what did the doctor say?
He just said nothing can do.
Just unfortunate, very unfortunate. But you see, another thing I will say when it comes to children emergency, children emergency are more fatal than adult emergency. When there's situation of shock and all these things we have talked about, heart failure, heart attack, cardiac arrest, and the rest of them. In adults, when you do this CPR, you can recover up to say 60% of them. But in children, it's not like that because their systems are still very, very fragile. The system is not as matured, fully matured like adulthood. Are you understanding me? Then when it comes to electricity, the degree of the current that enter the body matters. I nursed a NEPA official that was burnt at the middle of the head like this. He was working legal work. They were working. I don't know what went wrong. By the time they rushed him in, he was semi-unconscious. That one was in First Rivers Hospital. He was semi-unconscious. The whole of this place, anesthesia has chopped it up before they came. All we're just seeing was the white hardness of the skull. No flesh, no hair. This just a portion of this bow has gone. And it took how many surgery to recover that portion? But the surgeon eventually came, the neurosurgeon, was one Dr. Brown for Teaching Hospital at Akoti. The person that was handling did it twice, they did skin graft twice, they detected it. doctors, that doctor, one Professor Brown from that hospital, that eventually came and did the last surgery of the skin grafting that now made her place to graft. So the degree of the current is very important. And one other thing you should know is that when electricity enters the body, it is not only the damage you see outside. At times some organs are burnt and affected inside. You cannot know. The nurse there, nobody can know until that patient comes to the hospital. So what they do is that if the person comes, we normally will carry out tests. They can say if they do scan, you see a lot of things to really know the degree and the extent of the damage. So if the damage at that point of contact with the injury is much, the chance of survival is very slim. It's very slim. From what happened from that experience, it was a bad one. The current surge was high. It was high. Seriously high. Very high. But the thing is that if somebody is doing CPR, that patient is responding, and to move is becoming delayed, or the people around are not ready to move. Whoever is doing that CPR should stay by with the patient and be watching. If the person is observed that the patient is going down, continue again, just keep doing it to keep that heart pumping. Let people now run and look for a more reliable medical source for help. You understand? This thing I know, I've observed that I know what you are talking about. For people to take emergency is very challenging in this environment. Another thing is that people are also afraid that every person will die in their hospital. That if you bring emergency, the person dies there, you spoil their name. They say die in this place. Or you may not be able to pay again. Those are the things they put in mind. Those are the things they put in mind.
Praise God. So my question is regarding people that they have this blood shortage issue as a case of emergency. Because it's something I've been hearing, but I want clarification that their body posture sometimes can affect their recovery. That maybe if they are lying down and then they have to get up, that they can fall back into shock as well.
Yes, thank you very much. I answered that question partially. Somebody listened when I was talking. That if somebody is bleeding and the shock is from the result of the bleeding, that you don't allow that person to stand at all. But the moment the person stands, there is going to be low tension. No, the little one in the brain will drop again. The person will fall and faint again. So what you normally do is what I've showed you. That person should be in the recovery position. Left hand. Where is that person's left hand? This is my left hand. You turn me to my left hand. Turn that person to the left hand side. The person should face where his left or her left hand is. Then tilt that head upward. Backward. The way I showed you, the chin upward. You understand? That person should maintain that position until help comes. Another thing you can do is that if you cannot get objects, chairs, at times use chairs. What we now do is that, okay, let me show you. Please bring that mat back. This question is very vital. Even in the hospital, we do it. I had a labor case one night that my colleague was managing on afternoon duty. The woman went into obstructed labor and they were calling the surgeon. Unfortunately, before the surgeon would come, that woman ruptured the uterus. You know what it means for a uterus to rupture? The uterus will tear. Baby will jump out of the uterus and inside the abdomen of the woman. Bleeding will start. Once that thing starts, once you happen, that woman will go unconscious. In some of them, the blood is already pouring out of the woman's bum. Just blood running. So while I send somebody to go and fetch blood from the lab, ideally we would have waited for the doctor to come and say that they know me. Once emergency happens, I don't wait for anybody. As long as I'm 100% sure of what I want to do, you can't query it, I go ahead and do it. So before the person who will bring blood comes, the one is coming. So to save that woman's life, I have to tilt the bed. You have to look for the chair, start chair like this. Where the feet is, you have to tilt that woman upward. So that the little blood left in her can be going to the heart, the lung, the brain. The heart, the lung, the brain. That's the only thing that will not make her go into shock. And she don't enter that shock until the surgeon comes. And when we wanted to move her, it was in the same manner we move her to the theater. If you make that woman sit, she just go back like that. So, lie down. true. So if it is a case of blood issue now, if you don't want to lie down, what you now do now, you give the person like this. And you look for support. So whatever blood is left now circulates more upward, very little will go down. But by the time you come and touch the feet like this, very cold and down. Because blood is not reaching there. But if you come towards the head of that person to be warm, because the heart, the lungs, and the brain are the three vital things that must survive. Once all three are okay, the liver and the kidney will function. But the moment anything goes wrong, their kidney and liver will shut down. All of them work with each other out. Kidney and liver will shut down. So that is the most, as much as you can teach the person. The air should be here. If it's in the house, it happened. Pillows, want pillows, raise the pillow at the feet higher. The edge go down. As you can see.
At what point does the person now leave this posture?
When they are ready to move the person. So the people that want to move, lie down. If they are medical people now that want to move, they are going to move this person this way. You cannot make somebody who has shortage of blood to sit like this. Whatever the person will just do like this. You just slump on your hand. So when they want to move, carry a death. This is the way they move into the ambulance. They maintain the position of the ambulance.
So that positioning is because of where the heart is.
Yes.